I'm Eryn Fiandella with Receivables Info.
And I'm Lauren Valenzuela with Actuate Law.
Welcome to Receivables Readers. Today we're here to announce our first book. Are you ready, Lauren?
I'm so excited.
Okay, give us your best drum roll, Lauren.
That was it.
Okay, all right, on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Yes, I bet you recognize that face. It is Matthew McConaughey. And the book we've chosen for our first book is Greenlights. Lauren, do you want to share a little bit about this book and why we chose it?
Sure. So Greenlights is a autobiography of sorts, I suppose. I say of sorts because it's not a full-on autobiography. It's filled with Matthew McConaughey's. He was an avid journaler, which is something I didn't know.
Me either.
Yeah, he was an avid journaler, and he used to journal a lot about his life lessons, his experiences. And so he took all of those throughout the years and compiled the best of his life lessons and put them into the book. And I have to tell you, Eryn, when you first suggested this book, I was a little bit hesitant. This isn't something that I would normally pick up myself. But I have to tell you that I'm so glad that I kept an open mind, because I thoroughly enjoyed every single page of this book. I didn't want it to end.
Me too. And it's kind of funny because when you get to the end, I'm like, that's it. Oh, well, yeah, he is only 50 years old. So, but thank you for saying that, because I had the same feeling when someone, it's actually a guy friend, recommended this book to me. And I thought, Greenlights, Matthew McConaughey. All right. That's literally what went through my brain. But I picked it up, and you know what I love about this book is it's a book you can read in bites. You know, you can read a page, and Matthew McConaughey is much more philosophical and intelligent than I ever gave him credit for, especially after Dazed and Confused.
Which I get some insight into that, which is really interesting.
It's so true. And one of my favorite things is, actually, let me show you. I have all kinds of pieces of paper that I've marked different pages that I found really relevant and meaningful to myself. And throughout the book, Matthew does these, he calls them bumper stickers. And they're little just kind of Post-it notes that are handwritten notes that he's been collecting throughout his life. And they're very, it's a little introspective. It's more introspective than I thought it was going to be. And I related to this book a lot more than I thought I would. So not only did I read it, but I also listened to the audiobook, because when you read this book, what went through your mind, Lauren?
Like his voice, I just heard he's such a great storyteller too. I would have not have guessed that about Matthew McConaughey, but I heard his voice. And tell us about your experience listening to the audiobook.
It was very different than reading the book. The book is one I kept it in my purse and was like, oh, you know, the checkout line is long at the grocery store, and I'd read a little page, or, you know, it's a Saturday morning and I've got an hour and I would read a couple of chapters, and it was great. But listening to the book was completely different, because you didn't pause with all these bumper stickers, but instead it was him telling these stories. And in your mind, you laugh at the story. But when you listen to the audiobook, Matthew McConaughey laughs, and his inflection, and it's like sitting down at a family dinner and everybody's telling those old stories of days gone by. And, you know, it's just so enjoyable. So whether it's reading or listening, I really hope everyone will give this book a chance, because it is really, really great and surprisingly great.
Yeah, it's thoroughly enjoyable. Like you said, he does a lot of introspection, and in the process of reading about his introspection, it makes you do your own introspection. And why don't you kind of give a little teaser about what is a green light?
Oh, what is a green light? So he calls the book Greenlights because in your life, you know, life is like a road. Everybody wants easy street where it's green lights the whole way through. But in reality, there's yellow lights and there's red lights. And how green lights can turn into red lights can turn into green lights. And every time you hit a traffic light, you have a decision on where you're going to go next. So even though you have these life events that are red lights and they're difficult, how you respond and how you handle it and how you move forward from that is what can turn a red light into a yellow light, another series of red lights, or another series of green lights. And I just love the way he tells this story and how different things throughout his life were different stoplights for him. And in case you didn't take the cover off, I love the book.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't
Yeah,
know
it's really great. It's all green lights, which his life has not been all green lights. And his life is a very interesting story.
Oh, so interesting. I was really surprised actually about his upbringing, which was quite different for sure.
Yeah, very unconventional.
Yeah, so read it. We don't want to tell you too much because we want you to
Yes.
read the book.
I hope we've given you enough teasers that you're really
Yes.
interested. You can find this book just about everywhere right now. Lauren, I picked my copy up in the airport on the way home from an industry event.
Yeah.
And I know some other people have picked it up at their bookstore. You can get it on Amazon. If you're a listener, it's on Audible. It's everywhere. And it's a super hot book right now. And when you read it, you'll know why.
Yeah. Yeah. I got mine on Amazon. Got mine on Amazon. You can get it at the library. You can get it anywhere.
Yep,
Yes.
anywhere that books are sold.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, we thank you for joining us on our journey. We really hope that we've created enough interest for you to pick up this book, check it out, and join us in our conversations. Be sure to go to receivablesinfo.com to stay abreast of all the latest books that we're going to be reading. And be sure to join us on our LinkedIn group, Receivables Readers, so you can join the conversation as it's happening. Don't forget to fill out the form on the Receivables Readers page on receivablesinfo.com so you can stay up to date with our live meetups as well as new book announcements.
Hey, Eryn, what if they have a book recommendation themselves? How should they tell us?
Oh my God, I'm so glad you thought of that. Yes, please drop your recommendations either on our YouTube page. You can add them to the comments on our LinkedIn page, or you can even email them to us because we want your suggestions as to what you want to read. Because like we mentioned in our intro video, we're not stuck on any one genre of literature. We want to read whatever is interesting to people. And we really want to run the gamut of different types of genres that we're reading. So drop it into the comments on YouTube, drop it in the comments on LinkedIn, send us a message. We'd love to add your books to our list.
Awesome. All right, Eryn, I think it's that time. I think it's time to say cheers to the next page.
Cheers to the next page. Thanks everyone for joining us, and be sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Well, thanks, Lauren.
Yeah. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.